I'm Josh McGrew, the children's minister here at Christian Church in the Wildwood. I've already shared this story with you, but I'm going to share it again just because, well, I like it. See, I'm not much of a hiker. I know this because the one and only time I went on an overnight hike, my shoes fell apart. My backpack started giving me blisters on the shoulders because it was just packed with too much stuff. My sleeping bag came unraveled and I had to carry it in my arms. And then finally, when we finally got to our camp and we broke out our meals, we had bought these army rations that were expired. They were like 5 years old and they tasted horrendous. And I don't know if that was because they were army rations or just because they were really expired. Either way, it was a bad choice. Now here's the thing, if you talk to someone who's into hiking, they're going to tell you there are a couple of basics about hiking that you need to know. First of all, buy shoes that work, that are comfortable, that aren't going to give you blisters and aren't going to fall apart. Second of all, pack light. Pack only what you need and make sure you have a backpack that's comfortable. A third basic of hiking is pack food that works for the trail. Things that you know you can eat and that are going to not be horrendous and aren't extremely expired. Those are some basics of hiking. Everything in life has basics, and you need to go back to those basics again and again and again to be able to build up to something greater. For instance, I teach students piano. We always go back to the basics. They have to know how to read their music. They have to know scales. So we go back to those basics every single week and we build off that. If you're into martial arts, you go back to the basics. Every single week, you start off with your punches and kicks, and then you start doing some cool things like backflip kicks and different things like that. Okay? Maybe not all of us. But you always go back to the basics. Now this month in Wildfire, we're going to be going back to the basics. We're calling what we're doing Base Camp, because we're going to talk about the three basics of our virtues: faith, friendship, and wisdom. If you get those three virtues down, every other virtue we talk about builds off of those: faith, friendship, and wisdom. And we also have a memory verse that goes along with this. It comes from Luke 2:52. And here's how it goes. And Jesus grew in wisdom, stature, and in favor with both God and men. That's Luke 2:52. I'm going to do that one more time for you. And Jesus grew in wisdom, stature, and in favor with both God and men. Luke 2:52. Now, if you want to take our virtues a little bit farther this month, we do have a take-home challenge for you. We're going to challenge you to create a family coat of arms. Now, a coat of arms is something that people used to designate their family with, and it represented different characteristics that family believed in, that they lived out. So for instance, if you had a lion on your coat of arms, it means that you came from a family that was very courageous. If you had armor on your coat of arms, then you might actually come from a family who stood up for what was right and defended the weak. So we're going to ask you this month to be creative. Grab a take-home challenge from our take-home kiosk. And in the back, you'll find a place to create your own family coat of arms to hang up and remind your family who you are as you follow Christ. Now, we also have a big challenge for you. And this is kind of tough since I just told you that I'm not much of a hiker, but our challenge for you this month is to go camping. And if you're like me, that might not mean that you're going to go out to the middle of the wilderness and break out a tent. It might mean the backyard, or it might mean your living room. But we challenge you to go camping this month, and during that camping trip, remind your children over the course of the camping trip what these basic virtues are as you talk about the basics of what it means to camp. So I hope those take-home challenges help you, and remember our basics this month: faith, friendship, wisdom. Live them out, and you'll see your child start to live them out as well. I'll talk to you later.